thanks to us and all you listeners, we have finally brought about the end of an evil corporation. Facebook is dead.
And then resurrected again.
Shit. To be fair, I didn't see the second part coming.
Evil corporation cannot die. Hey.
I only take on a new form. What do you fear most? Meta things?
All right, so
Zuckerberg is Pennywise.
basically.
Actually, what if Pennywise formed into Zuckerberg as like the thing you feared most?
I'm thinking he was just like, man, I got to adapt. I can't like
Can't be living in these sewers forever.
Yeah, exactly. I could be a billionaire, I could be making money, and I could be corrupting hundreds of millions of people at the same time. Let's do that. Hey, in case you're curious, this is the Gamers 2 podcast, your weekly roundup of news and commentary related to the video game industry and anything else that might pique our interest. Like, I don't know, Facebook. Does not pique my interest, but, you know.
I mean,
we
have
them.
to talk about it.
I watch what they do
Because
I don't like them.
Yeah. I watch them the same way that what's his name watches Tim in Home Improvement.
The neighbor.
Yeah. He just peers over the fence.
Yeah. What is his name?
I don't remember his name.
Al's the co-host.
Yep. And Tim is obviously Tim.
Tim, yeah.
I feel like it's an H name, but I don't remember.
It's gonna bother me, but oh well.
So I watch a lot of people just peer over fences.
That's not creepy at all.
And spoiler alert, there's not many fences around.
That's concerning.
Just a lot of wide open bay windows.
All right, well, we should probably hop into the new releases and segue away from that creepy nonsense. It's actually a lot of shit to talk about. So,
well, let's get a move on then. New release number 1, Zombo Buster Racing for the Switch. That's out in the U.S. At Eve's Wake for the PC. Number 3, Hermitage Strange Case Files for the PC, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. Hermitage, does that mean like something else? Because I just picture like Hermit Strange Case Files at this point. I removed the age from the end of that word, and it's a bunch of hermits committing murder.
sounds good.
Number 4, LOL Surprise Movie Night for the Switch. Number 5,
toys.
Oh, it is those toys, isn't it?
It is.
I was hoping it was Laugh Out Loud. Number 5, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and the Switch. Number 6, Moonglow Bay for the PC, Xboxes. Number 7, Workshop Simulator. Hey, you got to do some stuff in a workshop, but you don't actually want to do some stuff in a workshop? You could simulate it on your PC.
Hey, maybe you don't have room for a workshop.
I'm going to go build a wooden cabinet on my PC.
The irony.
Number 9, Pumpkin Jack New Gen Edition for the PS5 and Xbox Series X. Number 4, Matt's favorite game, Age of Empires 4 for the PC.
What are you trying to say?
You like old-timey RTSs? And you played a lot of Age of Empires in the past?
Possibly.
All right, then. That's what I'm trying to say. Number 10, Fatal Frame, Maiden of Blackwater for the PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. Number 11, Plan B from Outer Space, a Bavarian Odyssey for the PC.
It's an interesting title.
Plan B from Outer Space, I like just as my next pickup line. Hey, I got this Plan B from Outer Space. Followed by a Bavarian Odyssey. I just picture that being my favorite type of donut.
Okay.
Good old cream-filled Bavarian donut.
I always called them Boston cream donuts.
Different type. Different type of cream.
Really?
Yes.
What's a Bavarian cream donut? What's the difference in the cream?
Less dense? There's a flavor difference.
Okay.
Boston cream has a distinct flavor.
So, like...
It probably has some form of coffee in it because, Boston, it's got, like, Dunkin' shit. No, not really, but There is a difference in textures and flavors.
Now I'm curious. I'm not.
You probably can't tell anymore.
That's why I'm thinking you probably have to go to like a legit like donut shop.
Yeah.
To find something like that.
There's probably an actual like researchable answer that we could find, but yeah, they are, to my understanding, two different things.
All right, well, I'll look into it.
Number 12, Riders Republic, the game that I cannot play on my PC, but it is out for PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Stadia.
Play it on Stadia.
Oh, you joke. Number 13, Sunshine Manor for the PC. Number 14, Voice of Cards, The Isle Dragon Roars for the Switch. Number 15, Cotton, 100% for the PlayStation and Switch.
I could go
not making
so
the
many
jokes.
different ways.
Number 16, Mario Party Superstars for the Switch. Number 17, Panorama Cotton.
Fuck?
For the PlayStation and Switch. They're both for the PlayStation and Switch. Are they related?
I don't know.
I'm not going to look it up.
I'm afraid to
Zombo
ask.
Buster made its way to Europe, so you're welcome. Europe people, don't worry. I didn't forget you. And number 19, The Suicide of Rachel Foster.
That sounds like a fun game.
For the Switch.
Alrighty then. Evens or odds?
Evens.
That means I'm odd today.
And every day.
True story. At Facebook's annual Connect conference, CEO Mark Zuckerberg announced that the company is changing its name to Meta. Quote, right now our brand is so tightly linked to one product that it can't possibly represent everything that we're doing today, let alone in the future. Over time, I hope that we are seen as a metaverse company, and I want to anchor our work and identity on what we're building toward, end quote. In the near term, that means the company will continue to work on virtual reality with its Oculus headsets, as well as augmented reality with its own AR glasses it continues to develop. Although it looks like they are dropping the Oculus branding and going with the name MetaQuest for their headsets. The crazier development is that they are dropping the Facebook login requirement. As for the longer term, Zuckerberg said that the company wants to build a metaverse that gives users the feeling of being somewhere else, and that he hopes to have 1 billion people using it within the next decade.
We want
that
you to get
sounds...
just get out of reality.
Oh, my God.
Also,
what is that movie? Book/movie? Ready Player One?
Yes.
Is that what he's doing?
No. That requires more than what he has currently.
Well, yeah, but that's the end goal.
Maybe, yeah. To make an oasis.
Yep, where you can escape to and can
live, essentially.
Yeah.
I do like the idea that I don't know why this is just so funny to me. The crazier development is that they're dropping the Facebook login requirement because here's what I immediately think. Now they have a Meta login requirement. It's because, you don't need to log in with Facebook anymore, but now you need to log in with your Meta account. It's still not going to be your old Oculus account. You just need to change it to a Meta account now.
Yep. My guess, too, is that they're like, all right, obviously people don't like it, whatever. And it's not a requirement for them because they are going to data mine everything they want anyways without the Facebook login. So
yeah, once they own everything, they don't need to worry about it because they're just going to, get all your stuff anyway. And a fun, interesting thing, story number 2, kind of related. So here we go. Streamlabs.
Just a
never mind.
fair warning. Most of the major news stuff is either Facebook related or
ABK. I remember what that means now because I read the entire email he sent.
Oh, I didn't read the entire email.
I read the entire thing.
All right, well then you can,
because I clearly work there. And I'm an investor. I'm not either of those things.
There you go. You heard it here first, folks.
Not either of those
Nate
things.
owns 25% of ABK.
Holy shit. You know how rich I'd be?
Yeah. Why are you holding out on me?
Why am I holding out on myself?
I got my ankle hit by a baseball. Oh, I'm so upset. All right, sorry.
Listen, just because it's Bregman doesn't mean you have to do his voice. Number 2, Streamlabs reported that in Q3, Facebook Gaming surpassed YouTube Gaming in viewership for the first time ever. According to the Streamlabs and Stream Hatchet Q3 2021 live streaming industry report, Twitch saw a viewership of 5.79 billion hours. Facebook Gaming platform amassed 1.29 billion hours, while YouTube Gaming recorded 1.13 billion hours watched. Year over year, Twitch saw a viewership increase of 22% during Q3. Facebook saw a 59% growth in hours watched during the period, and YouTube Gaming saw a year over year decrease of 32.5.
This kind of surprised me. Maybe it's because we exist outside of Facebook so much, which is amazing. Good job for us.
Dude, high five.
So what was crazy about that interaction right there was he slapped his hands together to simulate a high five, and I gestured a high five on the other side of the room, and it timed perfectly.
Yeah.
So
And
you
he's
missed out.
he's gonna ruin the magic for all of you.
Yep.
As if we didn't actually high five. You
it
imagine
was
the cameras.
impressive.
You imagine a camera being in here and still seeing that interaction where I still high five myself.
They probably would have looked awesome because the timing was like spot on. Anyways, Facebook. Yeah, I would never have thought that Facebook gaming was successful or growing or anything because I exist outside of it so much.
We reach a few interesting potential talking points.
Yes. Hit me with them. Right in the face.
Q3, I don't know what is defined as, and I have a horrible memory time when it comes to streaming. Because there were also, this is before stuff like Tim the Tap Man and yada yada got paid to go to YouTube.
Yeah, so this would be summer, late summer.
This is, those numbers are before certain massive creators left Twitch to get a bag at YouTube.
Yeah, okay.
So there's going to be another semi-change again.
Mm-hmm.
The other issue is which I don't think my guess is you don't have it in here. I'll bring it up now. YouTube Gaming's future plans.
No.
So Fwiz, the managing director of gaming at YouTube, also known by his real name, Ryan Wyatt, put out a statement with video and some other stuff about like their future plans, kind of with gaming at YouTube and stuff. I didn't watch the video, but they're making more changes and iterating on stuff and yada yada.
Okay.
And I've seen some other Twitch creators that are like, YouTube is a few steps away from yanking more from Twitch than it knows what to do with, because Twitch thinks it has a monopoly when it doesn't. Just because of like the way that they've been kind of doing a lot of changes recently. The channel boosting is like the most recent one for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of like Bruce has kind of been in there for a little bit. Critical's been in there. There's been a few others that have said some stuff of like, man, if they get a few more changes, there's no reason not to just go over there if you're also already making content there, type of thing. Facebook Gaming is the weird outlier where
YouTube's in an interesting position because realistically, 99% of streamers are either uploading their entire stream to YouTube or highlights. Anyways,
yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff that goes along with all those things.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's a mindshare aspect and whatever, and this is just in a live streaming content. Obviously, YouTube is still viewed more than any of them because just videos, period.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know what Stream Hatchet is. Streamlabs is a little interesting because I don't know if they're just grabbing all data from watch things and doing it that way. I would assume they would be, but whatever. Not a big issue. The Facebook gaming thing is the more interesting one, where that one's growing. But they also, again, they paid a bunch of creators as well before the YouTube stuff. So it'll be a question. I need to see their year over year again and see where that lies a second time.
Facebook's big thing is I'd be curious to see demographics for these things.
I'd be curious to see demographics of streamers and viewers of both parties and what their top to bottom ratio is. How big are the whales that are streaming versus your low end?
Yeah.
Like, do you have 3 whales that make up all that number, and then you have 2,000? Obviously, these numbers are way off, but 3 whales and 2,000 sub 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Like how does that all work? And it's just interesting for what is that? Does that mean there's a metagaming now?
That's kind of the confusion. I'm assuming it's still Facebook gaming unless they decide to
It'll probably be Facebook gaming for now until it becomes metagaming. Metagaming is too good of a name for them to pass up.
I know. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it probably depends on if they plan on spinning it off of Facebook, like trying to isolate it more from Facebook.
I think it would still make sense when you're doing that. When you're doing a whole move like this, you make Facebook just be one thing, and you spin everything into Meta.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think this move kind of is more about brand. It's more branding than anything else because Facebook has a bad connotation. It has a bad, reference at the moment. So
they have a bad rap.
Yep.
And let's be clear, no matter what they do, they could change their name to the Patron Saints of Goodness, and they'd still have a bad rap. So
yeah, but I mean, for people like us, but as we know,
yeah, I mean, you get them young, you got them for life type of moves, but
yeah. Or if they're dumb, it doesn't matter.
Shots fired.
Alrighty then, number 3, an update to the big lawsuits in the games world. And that's like things that are related to the gaming world, not necessarily that are about the gaming world. Epic Games is trying to block Apple's efforts to postpone changes to its anti-steering measures. Apple was given 90 days to comply with the deadline of December 9th, but earlier this month the company filed an appeal against the ruling. Epic also filed an appeal, but that's not relevant here. Related, but not directly. Anyway, Epic has filed against allowing Apple the reprieve until the appeals process is done. Essentially, Apple's like, let's put a hold on this deadline until our appeal is finished. And Epic is like, Anyways, Epic's legal counsel wrote, not counsel, quote, a stay would imply, oh my God, here we go. I can't read today. Quote, a stay would simply let Apple off the hook and perpetuate the harms to consumers and developers for a substantial period of time, end quote. Fun stuff.
I just like to picture them now that you've brought it into the air of them sitting in the courtroom going, just doing like the whole finger wag, like, no.
Next up, the Los Angeles County Court has denied Activision Blizzard's request to hold off the state of California lawsuit it faces. Judge Timothy Patrick Dillon has denied the request, but didn't elaborate as to why, which I thought was interesting. Maybe he has since then, but
I don't know.
Yeah, just said no. Nah, son.
No. Trying to think of what the fucking video game is that does that.
I don't know. I got nothing for you. I was thinking the was the Jurassic Park.
Yes. Yeah.
You know.
No, there's a video game that does the same thing where you go to make like a choice or something. It goes like. Yes, I think it's a horror game of some sorts. Anyway, number 4, speaking of ABK, King is shutting down online games website Royal Games after, why did I say Royal that way? After 18 years. The site formerly Nah, you gave it to me. You cursed me. King.com hosted Flash versions of some of the developers' most popular games prior to their arrival on mobile, including Candy Crush and Bubble Witch. Bubble Witch, I've never even heard of that one. Players can continue accessing games on the portal until December 7th. After that date, the games will be removed, but the site will stay open for the withdrawal requests until December 7th, 2022. Weird date.
A date that will live in infamy. I didn't realize until he pointed it out. This week reminded me that
King exists.
it's reminded me that video games have changed so much that like a lot of this is just outside of my realm, and it's weird. It's a weird feeling to be like not knowing everything. You know what I mean? Like I feel like
yeah. Well, it's funny doing this show and doing everything we do in terms of just reading and what we listen to and yada yada. It is the antithesis of the more we find out, the more we realize we don't know.
yes, that's basically it.
Like there's the whole everything, you know what you don't know, and there's that whole like line or whatever. Every time I learn something new, I go, "Oh, I literally have no idea."
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it actually until right now.
Yeah, basically.
Like
happens all the time.
Because there was an 18-year-old page hosting Flash games like Candy Crush.
Yeah, and probably massively popular until
probably
past, like, 2
stupidly
years.
popular. Named their two most popular games. One of them was called Bubble Witch. Never heard of it.
Yep. All right, number 5. We got another one. A group
Ghostbusters?
of former Blizzard.
We got one.
Right?
I don't know if that was what it was about or not.
Nope.
I don't know if that was your reference because it is Halloween weekend.
I mean, that works. I'll say that is my reference, but I didn't have that thought in my mind when I wrote
we'll
this.
cross streams later.
Ooh,
Wait.
A group of former Blizzard developers have announced the creation of their own company, Notorious Studios.
Interesting name choice, by the way.
All Notorious employees previously worked on World of Warcraft, including the two co-founders, Chris Kaliki.
Maka?
Kaliki. Chris Kaliki used to be systems and class designer on Blizzard's MMO, while Doug Frazier was a senior gameplay engineer. They both left Blizzard in October of last year. League of Legends developer Riot Games has invested in the new studio as part of a $5 million funding round. The investment will go towards developing and launching Notorious's debut title, which is set to be a multiplayer RPG.
Riot is one of 3, I think. There are 3 big players in terms of their investment group. I don't remember the other 2.
Riot was the big one, I believe.
Yeah, Riot was the one that I recognized immediately.
Yeah.
So Notorious is also their guild name that they've been a part of for years.
There you go. Nate,
Now there are
with the deep facts.
There are a few Notorious guilds that exist, but I will say
Notorious.
I'm going to play you the WWE wrestler's intro that is the song Glorious, because it's like the same thing, and it might be one of my favorite intro songs because it's just egotistical and great. But there's a few guilds, obviously, that are named Notorious. I don't know what server they were on. They just said that was their guild name. But I have been in a Notorious. So there's a chance.
Hey, if you have like a decent guild and you're looking for a player,
Hey, if you're hoping to form a new game studio, and I don't know what I'm going to do there, but hey.
QA.
Yeah. Pay me enough. Yeah, it was an interesting one. I saw this get announced, and I was like, okay. Add it to the list of former Blizzard devs.
Exactly. I kind of want to see like a family tree in like 3 years.
Ooh, it'll be interesting. Yeah. A family tree, but show me also the withered branches. Like what tried to grow and then died.
Studio-wise? Or
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's good.
Studio-wise, and then the leaves on the ground are going to be labeled as people.
If anyone wants to see that, remind me in like, I don't know, a year or two. because I'll forget by then, obviously, and
Yeah.
maybe I can put something together.
Do the good old remind me event on Reddit.
Yep.
1 year. Number 6, speaking of, Activision Blizzard announced that it will not host its BlizzConline event, which was previously scheduled for early next year. The company said that it would like to, quote, take the time to reimagine what a BlizzCon event of the future could look like, end quote. Blizzard did note it will still provide new information for its titles as it comes available. Which makes sense, obviously. You can't really do a BlizzConline with everything you have going on and everything else. It would be real shitty to do.
Blizzard's pissing me off, man.
Okay, all right. What they do to you now?
They're just like making decent moves, and I just am angry about it. Like,
I just hate it.
You know, couldn't you give this to me? Couldn't you be just some fuck ups for a little bit longer? But no. All right, we're going to keep the train going. Number 7, Activision CEO Bobby Kotick. Did we settle on Kotick or Kotick? I never can remember.
I'm pretty sure it's Kotick.
Kotick. Kotick sounds right.
Yeah.
All right.
But again, I'm no geographer.
Bobby Boy has asked the company's board of directors to reduce his salary and compensation to the lowest possible amount under California law. In a letter shared on Activision's investor relations page, Kotick said he had asked for a pay cut down to $62,500. He also said that he won't be awarded any compensation or bonuses on top of this basic salary. Quote, until the board has determined that we have achieved the transformational gender-related goals and other commitments, end quote. Kotick shared 5 new changes that the company is set to make to improve the company's workplace culture. You read the email, correct?
Yes.
Okay. You can let me know how accurate these are because I had to do some interpreting of reading. There we go. I can speak.
I did the interpretation.
I did the damn thing. A new company-wide zero tolerance harassment policy. Number 1.
Yeah.
Increasing the percentage of women and non-binary people working at the company by 50%.
Currently sits at around, I think they said like 23 or 5.
Honestly, that's probably comparatively.
Yeah, it was. I think their number was that they're currently in the low 20s, and they wanted to bring it up to around 1/3 of the company.
Comparatively, that's probably not horrible to the rest of the industry as far as companies their size goes. Investing $250 million into accelerating opportunities for diverse talent over the next 5 years. Over the next 10 years, invest an additional $250 million into initiatives that foster expanded opportunities in gaming and technology for underrepresented communities. And lastly, the company is waiving required arbitration of sexual harassment and discrimination claims.
Yep.
It's the
there's a little bit more detail in the emails, but it's not much.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
key
points.
Highlights, yeah.
I really don't need to go too far into detail.
The
$250 million pots are basically $500 million towards kind of the same thing, but it's $250 million in the way that they're allocating that to one thing, and then $250 million of basically kind of like working with some outside organizations to foster things with like scholarships and internships and programs with colleges and some other stuff. So
cool. There was some criticism about his salary cuts. The one that I saw was that group, the investor group that has been beating that drum for a long time. And basically they were like, we want this in writing, and they want it written into his next employment contract, which will last 5 years. Which I feel like, based on track record, that is a fair request. Because you know, this could blow over in 6 months, then, you know, all of a sudden salary and bonuses and stuff start ticking up. But
yeah, that'll be the interesting part, just to see how it goes. But I mean, they're still at a baseline. Is it potentially lip service? Sure, but it's also good lip service. Like, yes, these are part of what you want to start seeing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a bold move, and it's interesting. Like, I'm sure we're not seeing the whole picture as far as like, I don't even know if it's necessarily like our business, but like his financials and like, obviously the dude's got a lot of money and doesn't need any more money. But like, curious what other alternative income he's making to where he's kosher, because like it's hard to imagine
this is still
someone.
This is still after he took his initial bonus too.
Yeah,
Of that, $250 million or whatever. So
yeah,
manage a $250 million pot of money correctly, you can live with a $60,000 salary for a year.
Here's my thing though, and I was gonna bring this up a couple days ago in our group chat, because that's kind of the part of all this. Like, when we have like a group chat and economic stuff comes up every once in a while,
and it's a nightmare when it does. I usually bow out.
Nate's just a little bitch about it. He doesn't want to wade in and give out his opinions, because
I'd weigh it if we were all sitting in a room and we could hash it out. I would do it then.
Anyways, that aside,
not gonna be able to drive tone across text messages.
The psychology of rich people is really fascinating to me, because generally they are very unwilling to give up any sort of like investment money or income they could make or anything like that.
Well, a mix of that, and it also depends on what you define as a rich person, because that scales with money as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm just saying. You know what I mean, though. Don't start your Nate bullshit. You know what I mean.
I obviously know what you mean.
In the context of this current discussion, rich people, dudes who are getting a $250 million bonus or making, tens or hundreds of $1 million a year.
That's fine. I'm just saying.
It's hard to imagine someone who has that drive mentality, psychology to all of a sudden not take some sort of pay cut, 50% pay cut, whatever, straight up just be like, give me no money at all.
Yeah. So. But it's the... yes. I guess yes is just, yeah. Yes, is it weird? Yes, and everything else with the same sentences and yada yada. But at the same time, we both know that, okay, that's your salary. You're not getting any. You're not getting any other money essentially out of Blizzard at that point.
Yeah.
Or ABK. You're not getting any money out of them at that point. But you also had $250 million handed to you. That sure you could find, put it in other things or whatever. I don't know. Again, we don't know what else he's got money in. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so he's just gonna say, okay, don't give me any money from Blizzard. Or ABK specifically. I guess it's not just Blizzard.
Yeah.
Okay, don't give me any money from them, but I'm gonna go get money from other people.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't tell him not to do that.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying. But it's just like, even considering that, like, it's hard to believe that someone of that, economic stature would just be like, I'll take the pay cut. I'll take no pay.
Yeah.
That's very much like a Japanese thing almost.
Well, they'd resign or, But the the idea there, I think, is, again, partially just like we don't know how he lives.
Yeah.
Because even then, they love their money. But at the same time, a man that just got paid $250 or was it $500? It was some stupid fucking amount of money. If he lived in just like a trailer but in a gated community, I could also just see him being like, whatever, man, I'm going to live at the office for a year. Like, I don't want to go anywhere else anyway. You think I want to go out on the street?
Well, that's what I'm saying, though, is like, it's interesting. Like, whatever's going on there is interesting.
Okay. Yes. Agreed.
You're arguing.
I'm not.
We're not on the same. We're not on the same wavelength here.
I'm not even arguing anything. I'm not even arguing the money concept. You're saying it's weird, and I'm saying I guarantee he has other money income, so it doesn't seem that weird.
Someone who could leave the company, go to a different company, and make $200 million, and he's choosing to be like,
I think
I'll take I don't want any money. You don't think that's?
I think part of the issue is he can't do the part you're thinking he can right now.
I mean,
he's too hot that a company wouldn't pick him up to go, yeah, you're clearly not an issue at a company.
That's insane. That's an insane idea, because all these executives who bankrupt companies and stuff like that, who immediately go to another company.
Yes.
The pool the pool of executives and the
Yes.
pool of like high-end CEOs
Bobby-
and stuff is so small that they could move to another company, even though he could have a scandal where he murdered someone, and another company would be like, "Oh yeah, we'll take you." He's he's making the fist, pumping the arm.
Because somehow you and I have flipped on a corporate scale. I agree with you that anybody that's a stupid corporation would make that move. If you're half worth your own shit, you can't touch him currently because it would plummet your own stock price. The hit you would take in the immediate turn for pissing off your entire company to make that move, and depending again on the company, do they have a board that like elects that person? I don't know how all these companies that exist in the world work.
I see your argument.
I get what you're saying. Where
I
yes,
disagree.
That man can piss money. He's done it. He honestly is probably pissing that $250 million into the urinals at Blizzard. But Johnson & Johnson's not about to go hire him.
If any company's gonna hire him, it's Johnson & Johnson.
You're not going to hire one guy in a lawsuit with another guy in a lawsuit. And that's the other issue, is that the lawsuits are pending. Like, whatever the lawsuits, again, this is a big cloud moment with, like, I can't make my hands wide enough. Whatever the lawsuits say, if they actually imprisoned him, you don't want to be the company that hires him and then immediately loses him after giving him $500 million after a month, because you then made no money and you lost the guy you hired.
I understand your argument. I don't know what world you live in, though. It's cool.
I'm living in not the Mad Men times.
You have too much faith in the current situation.
I have no faith in the situation. I'm just telling you he ain't fucking leaving, because he also knows, and this is the other kick that we both know is true, that after this period ends, whenever that is, 2 months, 3 months, a year, whatever. Okay, so he takes $60 million for a year. He knows he can easily get another 200 and some odd million bonus.
See, now you're on my level right now.
We both know that that's more likely, that he would get continuous stupid bonuses out of ABK than anywhere else for the most part he went.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. This is the interesting stuff. Is the
back to the fucking interesting part.
It's just
time is a flat circle.
It's just the thought process of someone who exists on that level.
Keep repeating it. It doesn't make any fucking difference to me.
I know,
yes,
clearly.
I agree, but again, when you can subsidize the idea of taking $60,000 for a year or two, and then going, oh yeah, I'm only going to make 300% of that in a bonus the year after when I drop the new Call of Duty with a Warzone pack. Woo! Jerk me off more. Oh, by the way, I still have Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, Diablo Immortal, and the new World of Warcraft expansion. Hey, we mentioned StarCraft 3. Yeah, free money!
Do you feel better?
Oh, and we're bored. We bought Tencent, because fuck you!
Tencent might buy them.
Number 8. Shall we?
Go for it.
PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds owner Krafton is set to acquire Unknown Worlds. That's it. That's the end of the story. They
job.
just are going to acquire Unknown Worlds from parts unknown. Unknown Worlds, the studio behind Subnautica, for an undisclosed amount. Ooh, spooky. The studio will continue to function as an independent developer, and its current staff and leadership structure will remain the same. So good news, this is just, hey, I'd like your money. It'd be a shame if it was in my pocket.
It's the old bait and switch, though. They're going to be like, oh,
Subnautica Battle Royale.
we're going to leave them alone, and then 6 months from now, I'll be like, by the way.
Hey, you guys hear about this new thing called PlayerUnknown's Battle Time?
PlayerUnknown's Subnautica?
PlayerUnknown's Subtime.
I like that one. Subtime.
A lot of subs. A lot of subs, no radar, no beeping. You got to figure out where everybody is with a periscope.
Also,
imagine a sub-only battle royale with no radar. Just think about it for a minute. How annoying would that be when you got down to only 2 subs left?
I feel like it'd just be really frustrating because you'd just be dying and not knowing, like...
So every sub is a 4-man team. 2-man minimum. To manage, navigating the sub.
Okay.
Torpedoes. Driving it. Somebody scouting around trying to figure out where another sub is. That just the whole nightmare of oh god, why I can't remember the name of the game. Not Depth.
You're talking about the
sub game.
Yeah.
That whole nightmare, but put into a battle royale scenario like World of Warships, but it's all just subs, and you can't see anybody else. Matches last for 2 hours because it's just 2 subs just doing circles around each other, trying to find each other. That'd be so entertaining.
I find it strange. This is not related.
That Mad Max is doing a commercial?
Yes, he's doing an Indeed commercial.
Yeah, so is Mariano Rivera. He was in the other one.
So weird.
Mad Max's eyes, man.
He just looks like a psycho.
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you have, what is it, heterochromia? Is that Bernie Burns?
Number 9.
Nope, never mind.
As per usual, there were a ton of delays, but I wanted to point out that Ubisoft, Ibisoft, all the time, quietly delayed 2 games inside their earnings report. Prince of Persia remake. I forgot about that one.
That's how you bet your ass I forgot about it.
And The Division Heartland
Shocking.
had their release windows moved from this fiscal year, which ends March 2022, to next fiscal year. So sometime between April 2022 and March 2023.
Not surprising for either of those. Haven't heard shit other than the fact that they acknowledged that there was a remake, and then Heartland went, yep, and I was like, that's not ready. There's no way.
At this point, I feel like Ubisoft has totally forgotten how to figure out release dates.
Good joke. Riders Republic just came out. Number 10.
Which it probably shouldn't.
Well, I don't want to talk about it, all right? Listen, that controller thing really fucking annoyed me.
And I'll tell you what, I got some issues with Far Cry 6, too. But
yeah, it's a Far Cry game. No, but not a good one. Number 10, the U.S. Copyright Office has announced a change to the Digital Millennium Copyright Act that will let console owners repair the optical drives on their own devices. The exemption also allows consumers to perform, quote, diagnosis, maintenance, and repair, end quote, on other software-enabled electrical devices. Hey, good for you guys.
yeah.
How many times have you had to fix an optical drive on a console?
PlayStation 2. That's it.
All right. Never.
You never? Do you ever have a PlayStation 2? Do you have one?
No, I never had it too.
They were notorious. It wasn't a repair so much as an adjuster.
Was it the slim or the stand up? Or
I think it was more prominent in the original one. So the I guess the stand up one by the one. Yeah. The lens would become like essentially out of focus, and you'd have to like readjust its depth.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Silly. Number 11.
Ooh, young and thick.
A little Sony news roundup.
Speaking of the PlayStation.
Sony has sold 13.4 million PS5s.
Seems like a lot.
It does.
Seems like a lot for a... we're almost a year. Couple weeks will be a year into the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not readily available.
Yeah. And people still want them.
And they've
badly.
sold 13.5 million.
Yeah, crazy.
0.4 apparently. I can't read.
Sony has created a new label called PlayStation PC.
Which, funny, hysterical to me, actually. Really could have come up with a better name. But makes sense because, it begins.
Yeah.
They come.
I mean, I guess
Build
the
it.
good news is that they're serious about this whole PC game thing.
Well, yeah. It's one of those, like, are they serious, or is this still going to just be the porting team?
Yeah.
You know?
It's still porting, but like...
But if they're porting not... Like, God of War is 3 years old at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be 4 by the time it comes out.
Yeah.
So it's like, if they're porting faster, that's one thing. But if they're just going to keep porting years later, then I'm like, why?
That's the curious part, what they end up doing.
Because you still could have just paid another studio just to do it later anyway. Why would you make your own division if you're not going to do it faster or double launch?
What do you think's a fair time frame? Because
a year.
Yeah, like realistically, they're never gonna launch at the same time, and I feel like 6 months is too soon.
I would love to see them launch at the same time, even if that meant that they put a PlayStation launcher on PC and they said, "Hey, you can get it through this launcher," and yada yada, and it's just another PlayStation storefront. Like, if they were going to do something like that, okay, fine.
Yeah,
but my window for being like reasonable is a year.
Yeah, I think years.
A year within the release date of the original game.
Yeah.
At this point, now that they've started to make it more of a common thing. Obviously, it's a little bit weird to look at God of War and be like, well, a year after God of War, when literally they hadn't done anything else on PC yet.
Yeah.
But, like, what's the next one that's
coming out?
Turismo, I guess.
Like for a PlayStation release or a PC release?
No, for a PlayStation release. Turismo in March, unless I'm forgetting something, because there have been so many delays at this point. For an actual PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, I guess it would be...
When's Horizon?
I don't even know at this point.
But either way, Horizon, Turismo, Ragnarok, a year after those, they should be making their way to PC at this point. I think it's reasonable.
I think that's realistic.
It'll probably not be that, but, when do I get what I asked for?
Loaded question.
Yep. You want to answer it?
There was a state of play event for third-party PlayStation games. It sucked.
Talk.
Here are the games that were shown. Death vs. Let It Die. We Are OFK. Like, what the fuck is that game, by the way?
I would have asked if you put the wrong letter in, honestly.
I know, right? Bug Snacks, Isle of Big Snacks.
Now, let's talk about what actually sounds interesting. I'm curious.
The celery creature looked pretty dope.
Was it like just a giant stalk?
It was like, the what the hell are those bugs called? The ones that look like twigs.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
One of those, huge, but made out of celery.
Oh, I'm in. I'd eat that thing, put some peanut butter on it. Delicious.
Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach, which we've seen literally 800 times.
Yep.
Death's Door.
Oh, that's interesting.
Kart Rider Drift.
Hell yeah. Give me a kart racer.
King of Fighters 25. Is that 25 or 15?
That's 15.
15.
25 would be 2 X's.
I thought there was some weird... No, 25... Is it 25 that gets a weird symbol?
No. 50.
One of them ends up... No, it's got to be earlier than 50. What's the I? It's 1.
Yeah. V's are 5, X's are 10.
I thought there was some weird symbol. Maybe not.
L is 50. D is 500. C is 100? It's been a while.
I don't fucking know. It's been longer for me, obviously. First Class Trouble.
That's also the nickname of this podcast.
Little Devil Inside.
Same.
Star Ocean, The Divine Force.
Don't know what that one. Don't know any of those, really.
No, it was terrible.
Bug Snacks is the most one I know.
I watched the whole thing, and it was just not even worth the 20 minutes of them doing it.
And yes, was this unbelievably easy to predict? Yes, but I also do get a point for Nate was always right.
These should have just been blog posts on PlayStation.
Yeah, they look
Blog.
like they should have either been blog posts or they should have been like thrown out as, "Hey, this is an indie state of play" type of thing. Like when they do those, they basically scream from the beginning. These are indie focused ones, not AAA. Yada yada.
Mm-hmm.
What do they call it? AAA third party. I mean, you're stretching, I think, really. But number 12, Microsoft has acquired 2Hat, a content moderation provider that's helped keep harmful content off Xbox. Founded nearly 10 years ago by a former Disney Interactive security specialist, 2Hat uses AI to classify and filter billions of human interactions across messages, images, usernames, videos, and more. Microsoft has been working with 2Hat for the past few years to improve its Xbox communities, but the terms of the deal were not disclosed. Also, Microsoft surpassed Apple as the most valuable company. All about the money, money, money.
That's kind of crazy to me.
It like isn't. They kind of go back and forth.
Yeah, you forget like how prominent Microsoft is as far as infrastructure goes.
Yeah, I mean Microsoft and then just like Windows and all their products as a whole are still massive.
Yup. 13. Amy Hennig.
Hey.
A former creative director at Naughty Dog, who currently leads Skydance New Media, will be working on a new Marvel video game. Skydance describes the game, which is its first, as a, quote, narrative-driven blockbuster action-adventure game featuring a completely original story and take on the Marvel Universe, end quote. But hasn't said which superheroes will be featured in the game. The studio also hasn't shared a release date and hasn't said which platforms the game will be available on. They've literally just said, hey, we're making a game. It's Marvel.
Yeah, which is interesting. Again, I could have sworn Amy had also had another project in the works, but I might just be confusing her with
yes, Forspoken.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it's for a different studio. From a different studio.
Yeah.
The only reason why I know this is because I went on her wiki page. She is credited as a writer. So, I don't know, maybe she did like a story treatment or something. I didn't realize she did all the Soul Reaver games.
Neither did I.
Legacy of Kain, all the Legacy of Kain games are her.
Weird.
Yeah. Real weird.
Now for some questionable things we didn't write full paragraphs on. Number 1, during Facebook Connect 2021, Zuck announced that Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is in development for the Oculus Quest 2. Interesting.
Very interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Could be cool. Could be also garbage.
How do I ride the BMX around?
Exactly.
You know?
It's a lot of questions. What about when you pick up a hooker? Or do we
call San Andreas the metaverse? What happens? Is that where they're building the metaverse? In San Andreas?
Wait a second.
Is that where we're all going to escape to?
I don't know if that's a good escape.
It depends on what side of the story you're on.
Are
you the NPC? Number 2, FaZe Clan is merging with an acquisitions company and then going public on NASDAQ. They are expected to have an equity valuation of $1 billion. Who'd have thought FaZe Clan?
These companies, these like video game-ish companies,
FaZe is video game.
When I see their valuations, I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, it's sickening.
FaZe Clan, Roblox, like all of them.
Roblox is even worse. It's more offensive.
I don't know. It's just crazy.
It's stupid. Number 3, DICE Summit returns to an in-person event in 2022. The show will be held in Las Vegas's Mandalay Bay Resort in February.
Nice.
You and your favorite person will get 2 tickets to the... Do a little Price is Right. Come on down.
There you go.
Number 4, Back for Blood has had 6 million players. Pretty good so far.
Yeah.
Still curious to see how that looks in 6 months.
Yeah.
Number 5, Mark Hamill is hosting a digital showcase for Thunderful Games on November 10th. Weird.
Yeah, thought that was weird. No idea what Thunderful Games is.
Neither. Yep, same. Number 6, to Nate's entire shock, New World has lost 70% of its players from launch, but that's still about 300,000 concurrent players still playing. Is anybody surprised?
Game's got some problems.
And also, when there's literally nothing to do at the end of it, you're going to lose people. Number 7, Diablo Immortal has entered closed beta on Thursday in Canada and Australia. So if you're in the land down under or the frozen tundra north, give yourself a try.
That one surprised me a bit. It's been a while since we've seen anything.
I love that it's in a closed beta.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have phones. Why can't we play it at this point?
Because you're not allowed to.
Number 8, Ian Bell, CEO of Project Cars developer Slightly Mad Studios and attempted console maker, is leaving the company. Bell's departure marks the third EA-acquired company to lose its original leaders in recent months. Who could have seen this coming? Number 9, Activision has announced the acquisition of mobile game studio Digital Legends for an undisclosed sum. As part of Activision, the studio will focus on an unannounced new mobile title within the Call of Duty universe.
Yo, the Braves are falling apart right now. I'm not thrilled about it.
Why so serious, man? Why so? Number 10, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is already the second most profitable title in Ubisoft history. What is the most profitable title?
Oh, let's think about this.
Origins?
What?
It might be another Assassin's Creed. It might have been Origins.
I don't know.
Origins did buku money.
It's obviously Just Dance.
Tom Clancy's anything.
The
Rainbow
Division?
Six.
Rainbow Six. Ubisoft.
Original Division had a decent launch, but then it lulled very hard until the end.
Game.
That old guy is pumped. He's in one of those recliners, and he is loving it.
I would like it too if I was in one of those recliners. Like, fuck, man, this looks awesome.
Like if when they show the home plate again. Anybody curious for watching World Series Game 3? That old guy in the vest.
Why is this?
He's doing the same thing I do when I celebrate scoring a goal in FIFA. Just a fist. Just yes. It might be. Oh,
can't be that.
Why would that say?
It's hard to find it, but it's like their best-selling game is Far Cry 5.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But it's hard to find what their most profitable game
it's
is,
probably going to have to be one of those like they'd have to tell you type of thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
How pumped is this guy about to be? Are they not going to show him? Oh, I wish they would.
You motherfuckers got so lucky.
Number 11, Japanese mega publishing house Kadokawa has... Oh, no, sorry. Kadokawa there's no has. Said Tencent acquired a 6.86% stake for $264 million US.
Kind of a big deal.
A lot of money.
They publish like literally everything in Japan.
well.
Like manga, anime, light novels, all the like.
They are just the publishing house of Japan.
Yeah, they're huge. They're all the weeb shit. Video games too.
Weebs. And hey, there was a Halo Infinite campaign trailer. Looks a lot better than the first time we saw it.
It does. Actually kind of got me a little pumped up for it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. That's it. That's exactly what it made me feel. I'm ready.
I'm ready. And then Witcher Season 2 had a trailer.
Yep.
Again.
I'm ready. Yeah, ready for that.
I am Groot. It's been 1 week since you looked at me.
Since you've
been gone. 1 week since it. What are you... Before I start saying bare naked ladies, what have you been up to?
Let's see here. I went to my first NFL football game. That was an experience.
Rah, rah, rah. They win or they lose?
They won.
Good. Did you break a table?
I did not.
Wrong part of the state. I was just curious. Buffalo thing.
Yeah.
You got to put your forehead through a table.
Jesus.
Otherwise, you're not a real fan.
That's interesting.
Listen, that's just what they told me.
Still doing the golf tournament thing on
Still in
PGA
second?
Tour. Still in second place. There's a margin has developed between 1, 2, and 3, 4. So
have you done the thing?
The thing. Oh no! Fuck! I keep.
Have
forgetting
you
about
come to
that.
the dark side yet?
I keep forgetting about that.
By the time you remember, you're gonna have everything.
Oh,
anyway.
yeah. Well, I think we've decided to do a little bit of a reset to make it
Oh, now you definitely need to do it.
a little bit more accessible for. Because the idea is, you don't want to come last. Well, the person who's in last now really has no chance of catching up.
Yeah, and if you're in last and have responsibilities, and the person in first has zero life responsibilities, then yeah,
So, I think we're going to do a little bit of a reset so that, we can start fresh. But Black Fridays are cut off for it. So we'll only have, we'll have 3 or 4 weeks of playing, and then that's it. Played a little bit of Far Cry 6, and that's about it. Listening to a podcast, Fall Civilization, it's really good. And, that's where I'm at in life. That is where I'm at. I'd like to pick up. I'd like to rejoin the Old Republic a little bit. It's just a question of if I have legitimate time to play it, to do the lore stuff I want to do.
I would love to join you on that journey, but we have different goals.
Yeah. I'm only interested in I don't know. I want to find all the lore stuff that relates back to KOTOR and the original.
Which there's a lot of story in the Old Republic.
Yeah.
It is arguably one of the best story MMO situations out there.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at. That's all I got for what I'm up to, I think. What you doing?
I'm
you got going on?
I'm doing some things. Played the show today and a little bit yesterday.
Yep, in the show.
Haven't played that in a hot minute, probably a few weeks.
Nice.
Nice to just kind of get in, play some baseball. Enjoy myself. Potentially looking for a new guild. Again.
Albatross over here. Dead albatross.
Yeah.
A live albatross is a good omen. A dead albatross, not so much.
I am the canary in the coal mine.
Yep.
You gotta get out of here, man.
Just watch out.
So
Nate show up in your guild, dead.
Can you imagine? That's just my rank.
That's becomes
my
a
rank.
thing.
Just in any guild I go to becomes canary.
Who let this guy in? We're
No,
fucked.
I've heard about him. I've heard stories. Everything he touches dies. So yeah, probably put myself out there again this weekend or in the coming week. 9.1.5 hits on Tuesday. That brings in the swapping changes and a few other things. So we'll see. I don't know I don't think that really changes that much for me specifically. I'll like it because I get to play more things that I want to try. But
yeah,
it doesn't change my wanting to play the game really. That won't be until 9.2. I still want to play. I get in, knock out some stuff every week or whatever. I am the last of the Mohicans in this situation. At least from my social group and my previous guild, not the one that I'm helping currently. I am the last of the Mohicans there. And the one that I'm helping currently, as we said, canary in the coal mine. And so I'm going to, again, go look and try to hunt. But I think this time when I hunt, I'm going to hunt on my server specifically. So
Oh,
2 runs.
There it is.
Travis Darno says yes. But yeah, so that'll be a journey. It'll be a fun journey to take because like the current situation I found myself in was just from running with them, and you know,
it was a happy coincidence.
Yeah, this next journey is going to be a little bit more formal, probably. Yeah. And it'll be
put down some roots, maybe a little bit.
Potentially, yeah. You know, spread my seed.
Ooh,
that's a
mamacita.
Somebody says that in a rate, I'm leaving. So yeah, I've been doing that. I finished Far Cry. Far Cry is officially done. I don't remember if it was done last week when we recorded or not. But I finished Far Cry. We played a little bit of Far Cry.
Yeah, tried out the multiplayer, co-op.
Still fun, but it's
I don't know. It's missing something.
Yeah,
it's missing something.
Pizzazz.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a lot of cool elements, but it's something's missing. I don't know what it is.
Again, it was also because we didn't know what we really wanted to do. Like, I have everything beaten, so it was your game. I specifically joined your game. So
but even like the game as a whole, it's like missing. I don't know. Something is just like
feels like I'm missing something. It felt that's why I played the way I did, mixed with the respawning issues. But like, I had no issue just jumping out of planes constantly to get wherever I needed to go and wingsuiting over there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think part of it has to do with the idea of the story they're kind of trying to tell with the whole guerrilla missions and everything, where it's like, oh yeah, and there's all these hidden paths through all these mountains and you can ride on horses. I'm like, that takes me 45. If I wanted to actually use those to get anywhere, my game time would have tripled just from walking. And and they're empty paths.
Yeah.
At most, and I don't know if you've had this happen, I've ran on those paths to get to certain places. Like if I saw a watchtower overlook with a zip line on it, it's like, oh, that's a good way to get in instead of walking in the front door. So I'd go run up the mountain to get there. But a couple times on those paths, I'd get attacked by like, I don't know, wild boar.
Yeah, the wild boars are there and so annoying.
Yeah, I'm like,
or a fucking alligator, crocodile, whatever they are.
Yeah, any type of wildlife randomly attacks me, and always it's never from the front; it's from behind.
Mm-hmm.
But the screen gets the scratch marks on it. I'm like, oh, so something attacked me, and then I kind of just look around. I find it. I pull out my LMG with explosive rounds in it, put 2 shots in the thing, and go back to what I was doing. But I'm like, oh, great, now this is a nuisance I have to deal with out here.
Yep.
Why would I want to deal with that? Especially when
there's no value in killing them.
Yeah, there's no reason to do any of the hunting or anything like there had been in previous Far Cry's, where it was literally using it to get ammo pouch upgrades or your extra weapon holster in 4 and 3. Like, there's just no reason.
Which makes no sense, because if they have this whole our thing going where you have your resolver weapons and you have your mods.
Other than the first one, I've never used another one.
Yeah. Like, oh, adapt and use all the things around you, and then like, oh, we got rid of like crafting and stuff.
They very much had a Bear Grylls moment, and then it went, but what if?
Yeah,
you were just in Far Cry, and they're like, improvise, adapt, overcome, and then that was immediately cut to a guy with a rocket launcher on his backpack shooting fireworks into the sky.
Yeah, it went like there's a needle, and like. They went too far. I think they're starting to creep too far into like the Just Cause side of Far Cry.
Yes, so it's almost put Just Cause like on the right side of that needle.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost as if somebody purposely in the very beginning on that first tutorial island, was holding that needle to the left, but like was physically holding on to it because it was just waiting to snap all the way to the right as hard as it could, like a rubber band. And the moment you go to the mainland, they're like, I can't hold it anymore, Captain. And they let go, and you're like, I'm free. And you might as well be like dual wielding LMGs, Duke Nukem style, just murdering anything that walks in front of you,
flying around in your wingsuit, just like spraying. Yeah.
I'm in a wingsuit. I randomly go between having my wingsuit on, and I'll open up my parachute, pull out my LMG, shoot some people, go back into my wingsuit, continue on my journey. Like,
It sounds like it should be satisfying.
It's not.
Yeah, like the idea of like, okay, there's a outpost I gotta take out. I'm gonna wingsuit in. I'm gonna fucking sprint over. I'm gonna headshot 2 guys while sprinting, run over and just start meleeing people. It's like it sounds like it should be fun, but for whatever reason, it's not.
You know what the funny thing is? You know what kind of does a similar thing? The new Wolfensteins. The last 2 new Wolfensteins have the newest Wolfenstein with the 2 girls where you're playing the sisters and the one where you are BJ.
Yep.
Both have that kind of like, oh, just go blow shit up and run through and do these things. Except those actually feel really fun to do it in.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with Doom. Doom is all about just go nuts and murder, but it feels so fun.
Yeah.
But this feels just
hollow.
It's almost like they're target dummies.
Yeah.
And even when I finish the game and all the, every time you do like a major mission or whatever, they're like, oh, the forces of the islands have increased and there's tougher enemies out on patrol. And I'm like, what was tough about them? I miss something? I saw a few more tanks, but I just pulled out some fireworks and a rocket launcher off my back and the tank was gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was. But hey, it's done. I only paid $15 to do that. In paying $15 for that, found out that I don't need to keep the $15 going for Riders Republic because it doesn't work with a controller on my PC for whatever reason. Matt literally witnessed it happen. So yeah, I'm done with Ubisoft games for the year. Now the next subscription I sign up to is going to be Xbox next week when Matt and I fight each other in Forza Horizon 5.
Forza. Yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not going to finish Far Cry 6 because I don't think it's going to be worth the effort. So we'll see.
I'd say like wrap up whatever area you started in, which looked like the left story.
Mm-hmm.
Like wrap up that story, and because that'll give you an idea of what the other ones are like when you get to the later missions of like kind of how they ramp up, and then you'll immediately know once you see the arc of one how the other 2 kind of go of like from slowness to speed up, and you'll be like, yeah, this is not
rinse and repeat formula.
Yeah, just kind of yeah. But yeah, that's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm good. I got nothing else.
All right. Enjoy watching the World Series. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.